OpenAI doesn't disappoint with the launch of its new multi-modal functionality for GPT-4. Apple may be bringing ChatGPT to the iPhone in a bigger way, and the US and China are engaging on talks about AI safety. All this and more on the Springtime Update edition of #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. OpenAI didn't disappoint today in their Spring Update. Despite what appeared to be efforts to manage expectations and tone down the presentation, the company delivered what many had predicted, a truly blockbuster multimodal ChatGPT. In the past, these GPT announcements appeared inspired by Steve Jobs' Apple product presentations. There's no secret Sam Altman is a fan. So like the Apple announcement, Altman would lead the discussion, building up the suspense, and then finish with a knock-'em-dead live demo. Well, this new launch was much different. Altman wasn't even on the stage. Instead, 3 OpenAI team members handled the announcement and demos with what appeared to be a very small live audience. It could be that this is a new approach, or it could be simply that Altman didn't want to go too much further in poking the bear, having already put his new release just a day before Google's major conference and product releases. Or maybe they really did want to, in the words of Apple's 1984 ad, think different. They departed from the normal practice of incrementing numbers on new releases, or of giving the new release a marketing-friendly name. The new launch is simply called GPT 4.0, not 0, 4.0. But 4.0 is what we'd all expected, a truly multimodal system that can handle voice and vision in addition to text input. Emotion, ability to naturally converse, even with multiple people, was all there. And in the typical understated tone of the demo, they barely mentioned OpenAI's ability to remember across conversations. The focus, according to the presentation, was to make the interaction collaborative, natural, and easy, and the demo didn't disappoint. While the presenters did try to make it seem spontaneous, we have no idea how well scripted and rehearsed the demo was. The phone used was wired in, presumably only to ensure a connection. But in a world where there have been a number of accusations of edited or even faked demos, they did take 2 questions from a live X Twitter audience, perhaps to prove that this was a real-time demo. And while there are only 2 questions allowed, the model handled them both easily. Overall, it was impressive. Conversations with the chatbot had no latency, that annoying delay while the software crafts its answer. Responses were immediate, but there was more than that. The voice of GPT 4.0 seems like a natural conversation with another person. The voice of the software can not only convey emotion, it can also detect it. When the presenter pretended to be nervous, GPT 4.0 not only detected that, but also tried to calm him down, even making a few jokes. The speech and listening even allowed the presenters to interrupt the GPT chat exactly as might happen in real conversation. This seems minor, but it's big. That ability to have a conversation where we sort of overlap and interrupt is the big part of human conversation, and it makes it seem real. The model handled this flawlessly. These 2 capabilities, the ability to be interrupted and the emotion detection and response, make this new release a quantum leap from any other chat tools, and even if there are bugs to be worked out, this is a credible replacement for a large number of call center and customer service people. Vision for text, graphic, and facial recognition was also well done. The AI could recognize emotion on a human face. It could also solve a linear equation by reading what the demonstrator had written on a piece of paper in real time. Again, it did it step by step, perhaps to ensure that there would be no embarrassment. We know when complex problems are done step by step, AI accuracy improves. But the AI could also explain each step in the calculation and coach and encourage the presenter. This new model is not only much more capable, it's also faster, according to the presenters, and much more efficient. So much so that OpenAI says they'll be bringing these functions to the free version. They have also dropped the cost of API services based on this greater efficiency. You have to wonder if there's a new strategy to either democratize AI for the masses or to try to increase the market share of ChatGPT, or maybe both. On one hand, OpenAI is not only giving these advanced features, but it's offering the GPT store to free users. And it's also making the model available in 50 languages. Another addition will have ChatGPT having not just a phone, but a desktop app. While this was presented to make the interface more user-friendly, it may also be a great way to deal not with just latency, but with interacting with the laptop or desktop environment. In the laptop version, the model did an exceptional job of analyzing code, as well as taking a look at a graphical presentation of data and interpreting it. With all of this being rolled out in the coming weeks to free users as well as paid users, one could ask, what's in it for the paid subscribers? Apparently, the sweetener for paid users will be not increased functions, but increased capacity. Paid users will have 5 times the capacity of free users. This is the precise opposite of rival Claude AI. Where careful limits keep nudging users to paid subscriptions. A couple of other news stories from today. Again, in the AI space, Apple announced that it is finalizing a deal with OpenAI to integrate ChatGPT features into the upcoming iOS 18 release. Coincidence? I think not. This would allow Apple to offer the wildly popular language model conversational AI and generative capabilities as a core part of the iPhone experience. Sources say Apple and OpenAI have been hammering out the terms for using ChatGPT in iOS 18, part of a broader push by Apple to aggressively roll out artificial intelligence across its products and services. While an OpenAI agreement seems imminent, Apple has also been in talks with Google about potentially licensing the search giant's own Gemini chatbot AI. However, those discussions have not yet resulted in a deal being reached. The move signals Apple is doubling down on AI being a key selling point and a marquee feature for future iPhones and iOS updates. Just last year, Tim Cook acknowledged using ChatGPT himself, while also noting a number of issues that need to be sorted out before bringing it to the Apple platform. Integrating generative AI like ChatGPT could supercharge Apple's existing virtual assistant Siri with advanced language abilities for everything from writing and analysis to creative tasks. Cook has argued that Apple's unified hardware and software ecosystem gives it inherent advantages in delivering powerful AI experiences, and the company reportedly plans to leverage its own in-house processors and data centers to run certain upcoming AI models and features. An announcement laying out Apple's AI roadmap is widely expected for next month's annual Worldwide Developers Conference, and while details are still sparse, the company seems determined to make a thoughtful entry into the generative AI arena, reshaping consumer tech. Given how well OpenAI performs on the iPhone, you have to wonder what Apple can come up with that would be more impressive. In a first-of-its-kind diplomatic engagement, the United States and China are kicking off talks this week aimed at establishing some common ground on the safety and risk standards for artificial intelligence. Senior U.S. officials say a delegation led by the White House and State Department will meet with their Chinese counterparts in Geneva, Switzerland on Tuesday. The agenda? Exchanging views on the technical risks posed by advanced AI systems and discussing domestic efforts each country is taking to address these hazards. Now, this initial meeting is not expected to produce any formal agreements or joint statements. Rather, it marks an exploratory discussion between these two AI superpowers who have yet to see eye to eye on what safe and responsible development of this transformative technology looks like. The talks were prompted by the meeting between President Joe Biden and China's President Xi Jinping back in November, where they agreed diplomatic conversations on AI risk were necessary given the geopolitical stakes. And while neither side expects substantive cooperation or sharing of sensitive research, the U.S. is framing this as an important first step towards making the world safer by opening lines of communication on a critical emerging risk. Of course, the two rivals have vastly different perspectives on AI ethics and governance that could create friction. Issues like China's use of AI surveillance and the U.S. barriers around sharing cutting-edge models and technology are likely sticking points. But with both governments aggressively pursuing AI breakthroughs for economic and military superiority, having some shared foundations might be prudent. The standards that ultimately emerge from the U.S.-China talks would likely carry outsized influence, shaping the norms that other nations look for to develop their own policies around AI risk. So, while not a venue for solving all their AI disagreements, this Geneva meeting represents a tentative first step towards ensuring the technology's rapid progress globally doesn't outpace responsible guideposts for its development. And that's our show for today. Show notes are posted on our new home at technewsday.com or .ca. Either works, and you can play the latest or past episodes on our homepage. We're also on YouTube with our experimental video show, getting ready for bigger and better video over the summer. We love your comments and suggestions, and you can reach us at editorial@technewsday.ca. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a terrific GPT Tuesday.